Okay, so let's unpack those numbers further with Sasfin Wealth's Chief Investment Strategist, Craig Pfeiffer. As always, Craig, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Let's start with the overall performance on the market today. A lot of support coming through from the resources as well as the financials. And I guess what we saw coming through from yesterday already, market participants not as nervous as they were about some form of banking crisis based on what we've seen happen at Credit Suisse and SVB and other banking issues that have come over the last few weeks. So with that, what would you say were some of the other contributors, both local and global, to today's market performance?
Well, I think, thanks, Rafiwa. I think it is a bit more of a follow-on from that, a bit more of a risk-on environment for the moment. We did see the banks bouncing back yesterday. If you look at some of those indicators, the dollar weakening up slightly over the early part of this week, US bond yields ticking up, all indicators of a bit more of a risk-on environment. So equities benefiting from that across the board. We've seen the oil price tick up, so helping some of our commodities as well. And even though you highlighted the platinum price a little lower, even the platinum stocks were up today. So it's a bit of a recovery from maybe a bit of an oversold situation, and the market accepting that maybe this isn't the global financial crisis all over again, but hopefully just isolated incidences in the banking sector here and there.
Yeah, let's speak about the local unit before we get into some company updates that were out today. Craig, the Rand, which was, I think, at around 18.20 earlier on in early afternoon trade, has strengthened quite a bit, currently at about 18.14 against the US dollar. What is informing the current strength that we're seeing? And based on the fact that it's one of the most volatile emerging market currencies, is it something that will be sustained and benefit us because the price of Brent crude is low at the moment?
I think it is a little bit of that risk-on environment again, so emerging markets a little bit more in favor, and the dollar weakening as well. Seen the dollar go from a couple of days ago from about 106 to the euro to 107 to just above 108 today or at the moment. So I think it's a bit of slight dollar weakness just feeding through into the Rand, and then, as I say, also just a bit more positivity on emerging markets and markets in general.
So on to some company updates then. Let's start with Master Drilling. They're providing various services to the mining industry. Their update today indicating that they're going to focus more on specialized mining, but also being able to up the dividend for shareholders. What did you make of the numbers that they shared with us today, and really just the outlook, given the challenges that the mining sector is facing, particularly when it comes to infrastructure and exporting those mined volumes?
Yes, I think the CEO called it a stellar year in 2022, and one can't argue with that too much. It was a record revenue for the year. The profits were up in rands and dollars, good cash flows, and I think again, as the CEO highlighted, they're trying to look after those things that they can control. So allocating their capital, looking after their costs. And just making sure that whatever they do in terms of their operations are, as good as they can do. So, looking after those factors, and then also, they have a good pipeline of business still to come. But I think the key thing is that they're moving with the times as well. They have a digitization strategy, looking at using technology where they can, as well as just apart from just digging the holes in the ground. So I think that also gives them a new angle, a new avenue of revenue, and just keeping with the times. So I think overall a solid result, and the market took it in that way as well. I think they closed up about 4% today.
And then a final one, Storage coming out with a trading update and really benefiting from the increasing demand for self-storage, but also the bigger need for warehousing, given the online sales phenomenon that's grown over the last 3 years or so. What did you make of their trading statement on operations in South Africa and in their operations outside of our shores?
Yes, once again, I think self-proclaimed resilient results from in the statement. And it did look to be also, a positive move both here in South Africa and in the UK, in both of their markets. The occupancies were up. The average rentals that they got also increased. I think somewhere around 7% for South Africa, 8% in the UK. Maybe that's just in line with inflation, but at least you're getting those increases coming through, along with higher occupancies. They're quite active in adding to their lettable area, adding storage space, refurbishing space. They have gone to town planners to expand into different regions in the UK. So, this remains one of the, very good REIT stories in South Africa. And, a solid trading update. It was for the 11 months. So we look forward to, a good 1 year result when they come out.
Craig, thank you very much for your time this evening. That is Sasfin Wealth's Chief Investment Strategist, Craig Pfeiffer, wrapping up the markets that were today.